evolved.
Dogs fun. How they evolve. Do you like dogs a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I see you wrote about dogs. Oh, I like how you gave a little narrative here, like a little story. Imagine a small squirrel with a long fuzzy tail, and the dog going to try and get it through the fence. I like that. You know a lot of information about dogs and how they're related to wolves too.
Yeah.
That's cool. How did you come to know of all this?
Well, I read a National Geographic magazine, and it was about this sort of stuff. And every night I have a question for my dad, and one night it was, is a fox a dog or a cat? And he looked it up, and it said that they're dogs, but they're not related to the dogs that we know. All of the dogs that we know are related to the wolves.
Oh, that's cool. I also like how you organize the fun facts, like with the numbers and the bullets. That's pretty cool. Can I show you something today about writing?
Yeah.
All right. So when we're doing informational writing, one of the things that's really helpful for writers to do for readers is to organize that information so it's really easy for them to locate and to understand the different kinds of topics. And so what I have here is it's called a progression, and it shows kind of how our writing progresses as a writer and how we organize it. And what I noticed is that you have paragraphs here, which is so great. You know how much I love paragraphs. And you kind of organize those paragraphs so that there's similar information in it. So what I wanted to show you today is I think you're like right about here, and you're ready to move over here and here, where the writers organize their writing and they have them in paragraphs, but they also will use headings and subheadings to alert the reader, hey, this is what you're about to learn about, this is the topic that's coming up. And you can even, kind of like you did over here with your fun facts about dogs, within a section that you've identified with a heading or subheading, you can even organize your information differently. Like I noticed here you were listing out fun facts about dogs, and here with the bunnies example we have here, they were listing out the items that they needed for supplies. And so it's okay in this section to write a little paragraph and then have some bullets or have some memorized as a list, because we can change the structure of our text depending on the kind of information we're giving. So what I was wondering is if we could take a look at a piece of your writing, and if you see maybe where you might call, identify some headings or some subheadings, and I have some post-it notes here. They're the accordion type, I think. Let me see. Yeah, the accordion type. And we can grab a pencil, which I think we forgot to grab. There's our bin. Great, you can grab your pencil. And we can kind of identify some headings and subheadings in your writing. And also if you see anything that you might want to organize differently. So here, in this first section, what do you think we might call this first section here?
How long dogs have been domesticated or something like that?
So like the history of dogs? Or the history of dog domestication or something like that?
Yeah.
Or, oh, you used the word evolved here. Do you want to use the word evolved somehow?
Dogs evolving from, dogs evolved to be domesticated.
Okay, you want to jot that down? And we can always play around once we go with our first idea. That's where we use post-it notes, right? It's okay. That's what editors are for. I like that. And what do you think about this section here where you kind of tell the story? Is this part of this section?
Kind of. It's talking about how a domesticated dog doesn't really care if it doesn't catch its food, but if it was years ago, then it would have been maybe a life and death situation.
Right, exactly. You put a nice little narrative here as part of that section about how dogs have evolved and they don't have that survival instinct anymore because they're used to their kibble, right, at 6 in the morning and 6 at night. So it seems like this is still the same section. Would we want to put a subheading here, or do we want to leave it alone?
I think we should leave it alone.
We want to leave it alone right now? Okay. What about down here in this next section when you talk about
how like foxes, because it's mainly what it's talking about.
So wolves and foxes, and how does that relate to the dogs? Like what kind of title could you put there?
Are dogs related to wolves or foxes?
How dogs are related to wolves and foxes? All right. Okay, I'm going to ask you to take a look at the next section on your own and see what decision you might make about that as a writer. And your post-it notes right there.
I think that this is still part of this, so I'm just gonna search here.
Okay.
Okay, this one, this little tiny paragraph right here is about how dogs don't like other things or people or things on their area, because like that's why people always say that the dog's gonna chase them. They only are gonna chase or bark at passing cars.
So what's that word that means that their area? Actually, you know what? It's one of our words that we studied. They don't like other people in there. Think about that Greek root that means land or earth. Yeah, what do we call that? That part of land that's yours and belongs to you.
We call it a turf.
A turf? That works too. Territory?
Territory.
Yeah. So you want to give some kind of heading for that? And I like how you noticed that there's a smaller paragraph here that you kind of didn't realize you want to give a heading to.
Right here.
Awesome. Go to look at the next section there.
This is about how dogs were in ancient Egypt and on the Mayflower. So it's about really neat places that really neat historical events that dogs have been a part of.
So domesticated dogs though, right? Not wild ones?
Yeah.
So that's like domesticated dogs in early history?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. I like those, like we call those nerdy facts in our class, don't we? We like those nerd facts. What about that last one?
This is like the ending. It's like
What's that called sometimes when you're reading a book and they kind of have the ending there and they're kind of telling you this is the ending? Or like when you're writing the end of an essay and you have the introduction, you have the body, and then you have what at the end?
it'll come to
What
me.
it's called? I know well. It starts with a C. Remember it?
Well, can you help me?
Sure. Have you seen the word conclusion before?
That's it.
Because that almost sounds like that's your conclusion when you're wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Is that okay to put that as a heading?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That lets the reader know you're coming to the end and I'm about to summarize for you my main points.
I don't know how to spell that one
It's
either.
okay. That's why we edit and revise, right?
This one already has a heading.
Yeah, it does have a heading, and I see you have numbers here where you've organized things. And is this going to be like a table somewhere in the middle of your work, or are you going to put it
I
at the
think
end?
it's like one of those things. It's like the books. I've read a book about frogs once, and at the very end, it has like 2 pages full of fun facts about frogs. So I think I would put it at the end.
So the main part of your text, and they'll go at the end. That's awesome. That'll be a cool text feature for people to read. So now that you have these headings, as you continue to read and research about dogs, when you find information about how they evolved to be domesticated animals, you know where you're going to put it, right? When you find more interesting, nerdy facts about domesticated dogs in early history, you know where you're going to put it. And that's also going to help me, the reader, and other readers of your work know what kind of information is going to be in each section. Nice job.
Maybe once I actually learn more about this, then I can like put dates in there too.
That'd be great. Adding dates and other kinds of specific facts and things definitely strengthens your informational writing. That's a great observation. Should you write that down as a post-it note to remind yourself?
Yeah.
Do it. Look, we're out.